In some breaking news that's coming in, this is as per what sources say. Go first flight to Chandigarh returned to Ahmedabad after suffering a bird hit. This happened shortly after departing from the Ahmedabad airport around 6:15 a.m. The plane suffered a bird hit and that forced it to return. The DGCA is now investigating the matter. Moving on now, Mumbai police have seized more than 700 kilograms of Mephedrone worth around 1,400 crore. This is the largest recovery of the synthetic stimulant drug in Maharashtra in the last 1 year. The drugs were seized after a raid at a drug manufacturing unit at Nala Sopara in Palghar district. 5 people have been arrested in the case, and the main accused, in fact, is a 52-year-old man who holds a postgraduate degree in organic chemistry. After experimenting with various chemicals, he found out the formula of producing Mephedrone. Abhishek joining us for more details here. Abhishek, what can you tell us? This is one of the biggest drug hauls recently that we are seeing.
Yes, definitely, and it's a big victory by the Mumbai police when it comes to fight against the drug menace, which is constantly at its peak in the city of Mumbai. And remember, this drug was more than 700 kgs and amounting to around 1,400 crores. And in the month of March this year, a drug peddler was arrested from Govandi with around 250 grams of Mephedrone. And from there, the investigation started. And in the past few days, 3 more arrests took place in this case itself, leading to the manufacturing unit of this drug that is in Nala Sopara, and that's where the seizure took place, and around 700 of kgs of drugs were confiscated. And what is believed to be is that in that manufacturing unit, this 52-year-old organic chemistry person who used to make the drugs through various chemicals, and he used to do the delivery to other wholesalers. So definitely it's a big victory when it comes to the fight against drug menace in Mumbai by the Mumbai police itself, and Anti-Narcotic Cell has carried out this entire operation. But again, we will ask this question that how this entire racket was operating, and this is something which is a part of their further investigation to which states this entire consignment was about to go, and how this production was taking place. Such massive production of this drugs was taking place and no one was aware about it, and whether there is a drug syndicate and international racket is involved. So definitely this needs to be the further part of investigation. But as of now, a big victory when it comes to the drug menace in the city of Mumbai by Mumbai Police Anti-Narcotic Cell. Back to you.
So much for joining us with all of those details. In fact, we're being joined right now by DCP Datta Nalaude of the Narcotics Department. It's under him that this operation took place. And we also have B.V. Kumar, former NCB chief, with us as well. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. Datta ji, मैं आपसे पहले पूछना चाहूंगी, इस पूरे ऑपरेशन के बारे में, ये जितना बड़ा अमाउंट ड्रग्स का सीज हुआ है, आप हमें क्या बता सकते हैं, कैसे हुआ ये?
अब एंटी नार्कोटिक सेल ने मार्च 29 को एक छोटा केस रजिस्टर किया था, जिसमें अराउंड 250 ग्राम्स ऑफ मेफेड्रॉन सीज किया था. इसमें जब सप्लाई चेन पे काम किया गया, 5th लेयर पे ये हमें पता चला कि इसमें प्रोडक्शन की एक बहुत बड़ी चेन है, और इसके जरिए मेफेड्रॉन कहीं पे प्रोड्यूस करके मुंबई और आउटस्कर्ट्स में सप्लाई किया जाता है. तो इसी इन्वेस्टिगेशन के आधार पे जब 5th अक्यूज अरेस्ट हुआ इस केस में, तो उसके पास से 703 kgs ऑफ मेफेड्रॉन सीज किया गया, और किस तरह से फिर ये प्रोडक्शन किया जाता था, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन किया जाता था, ये सब चीजें हमें पता चली इसमें.
जी बिल्कुल. और जैसे कि इस तरीके से हम काफ़ी सारे देख रहे हैं, बहुत सारी ड्रग सीजर्स हो रही है पिछले कुछ महीनों से, सालों से. तो आप क्या बोल सकते हैं कि ड्रग का जो सप्लाई है, ये पूरा जो सप्लाई चेन है, वो काफ़ी बढ़ रहा है?
इस ड्रग्स का सप्लाई बढ़ रहा है ये तो मैं नहीं कहूँगा, बल्कि मैं ये कहूँगा कि एजेंसीज की तरफ से कार्रवाई बढ़ी है. इस कारण से हमें सप्लाई में थोड़ी सी बढ़ोतरी दिख रही है. और मुंबई पुलिस का देखें तो हमारी हमेशा से ड्रग फ्री सिटी के लिए एक प्रायोरिटी रही है इसके तहत ही ये जो भी एक्शंस मुंबई में हो रहे हैं वो किए जा रहे हैं।
जी बिल्कुल दत्ता जी, हमसे जुड़ने के लिए और ये सारे सवालों का जवाब देने के लिए धन्यवाद. लेट मी ऑल्सो गो अक्रॉस टू BV Kumar as well. Thank you very much for joining us. In your perspective, this kind of a huge seizure as well that we're seeing of the drug here, what would you like to say about the quantity and the entire production mechanism that was being done at such a large scale?
I would like to make 2-3 comments in this seizure. First of all, at the outset, I must congratulate the Anti-Narcotic Cell as well as Mr. Datta Nalwade. They have done a tremendous job, and that is the way investigation should be carried out from the street level to the source. And in this case, that's what exactly they did, and that's what the Narcotics Control Bureau did not do in the former cases when they dealt with the film stars and other smaller persons who were arrested and things like that. This is the way investigation should be conducted. From a street level, you follow up rather than arrest the small people. Find out through the supply chain what Mr. Datta Nalwade and his team have done and went to the source. The most important thing in this case is, as far as Mephedrone is concerned, this is the largest seizure as far as this individual drug is concerned. I don't think earlier this particular drug was that popular because people were abusing cocaine or MDMS and things like that, not this particular drug, what is known as angel dust and other things. But this is a drug which is cheaper. Its cost varies from 2,000 to 4,000 rupees a gram as compared to 6,000 and above as far as cocaine is concerned, depending upon the purity. And this does exactly what cocaine does. It's a stimulant drug, which means it speeds up the messages traveling between the brain and the body. In other words, the stimulating effect is so much. Once in a party, if this particular drug is abused, probably the person who abuses this drug will act in a particular way, what his immediate instinct will tell. For example, if he's in a mixed company, probably he may do anything. He may even probably misbehave in the presence of the other persons and things like that, particularly if women are present. That's where that's where care has to be taken. And in this case, if only the NCB follows this particular method of investigation, which earlier the Narcotics Control Bureau used to do, from the street level, we used to go straight to the source and then apprehend. The other important thing in this case is they not only located the manufacturing unit at Nala Sopara in Palghar district, but they arrested the chemist also. He's a 50-year-old, fully qualified organic chemistry graduate, and he has mastered the manufacture. Another important thing is, I think, from whatever I could gather, they were selling in lots of 25 kgs at a time. In other words, it's going to the wholesale distributor at fairly a big lot. Now, what is important during the course of investigation, which probably I can suggest to the anti-narcotic cell, is to find out how many, since when this particular unit is functioning and how much they had dispatched earlier. I'm sure from interrogation, they will be able to get this. And there must be a financier who is probably financing this particular unit and other things. Earlier in Hyderabad, when a unit was located where MDMS or angel dust was being manufactured, we found out one Malkani was involved. He was the financier. He was also taking the drug to Bombay and distributing it. The unit was located on the outskirts of Hyderabad. So he was the financier. There was a chemist involved. All of them were convicted for 15 to 20 years in Hyderabad by the special judge. So in this case also, I'm sure the anti-narcotic cell will be able to, by interrogation, able to find out as to when the factory is functioning, how much they have dispatched so far, and to which places and to whom. So that will really probably tie up the whole case and other things.
All right, Mr. Kumar, thank you so much for joining us with your perspective on this important issue.
करप्शन वर्ड का इस्तेमाल कितनी बार हुआ है इस चिट्ठी में? आज हम कुछ सवाल पूछना चाहते हैं. सवाल नंबर 1, एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर कौन है? एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर ने और चीफ मिनिस्टर ने कहा कि वी प्रोवाइड क्वालिटी एजुकेशन इन दिल्ली, करप्शन फ्री सिस्टम इन एजुकेशन, बट दे देमसेल्व्स आर राइटिंग लेटर, खुद चिट्ठी लिख रहे हैं कि करप्शन बहुत जगह है और रैम्पेंट है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी लगातार सत्येंद्र जैन के खिलाफ, सत्येंद्र जैन पीडब्ल्यूडी डिपार्टमेंट भी संभालते थे, ये पूरी की पूरी चिट्ठी पीडब्ल्यूडी डिपार्टमेंट को संबोधित किया गया है कि किस प्रकार पीडब्ल्यूडी डिपार्टमेंट में करप्शन हो रहा है, किस प्रकार लो क्वालिटी मटेरियल इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है, किस प्रकार सब स्टैंडर्ड बिल्डिंग स्कूल्स की बनाई जा रही है। आप सोचिए, यहां तक कि बच्चों और स्टाफ की जिंदगी खतरे में है, यह तक लिखा हुआ है। इस प्रकार की बिल्डिंगें बनाई गई। और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी और मनीष सिसोदिया जी क्लीन चिट देने का काम कर रहे थे सत्येंद्र जैन जी को कि सत्येंद्र जैन जी इज नॉट करप्ट, ये तो बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। ये अच्छा काम कर रहे थे, चिट्ठी आपने खुद लिखा है। और मुझे आश्चर्य होता है कि इतने दिनों तक, इतने महीनों तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने यही आरोप लगाया था अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनके सिस्टम के ऊपर कि जो स्कूल्स हैं वो ठीक तरह से काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, उनकी बिल्डिंग इनकम्प्लीट है। और आप वर्ल्ड क्लास एजुकेशन सिस्टम के बारे में बात तो कर रहे हैं, मगर दरअसल खस्ता हालत में स्कूल की बिल्डिंग है, जो आज इस चिट्ठी से पूरे दिल्ली के सामने और पूरे हिंदुस्तान के सामने सही रूप में आज सच्चाई सामने आई है। एजुकेशन इज नॉट जस्ट अ मैटर ऑफ प्रोपेगेंडा, शुड नेवर बी अ मैटर ऑफ प्रोपेगेंडा. It is not just an issue of advertisement. Education is a priority sector और वहाँ प्रायोरिटी के साथ काम करने की आवश्यकता है। जिस प्रकार से करप्शन और सब स्टैंडर्ड मटेरियल का इस्तेमाल अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की सरकार ने किया है, हम चाहते हैं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी इसका जवाब दें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हो गया।
All right, that was Samit Patra there, BJP briefing on Delhi government. In fact, Samit Patra addressing, saying that will expose the school's condition in national capital. Now, the government continues to face heat by united opposition over the misuse of central probe agencies. Congress leaders criticized the government over ED summons to Mallikarjun Kharge. While the Rajya Sabha was in session, Kharge is being questioned in the money laundering case linked to the National Herald newspaper. The party has said they will go ahead with their protest on price rise and agency's action on August 5th. BJP has retaliated, saying that the protest by the Congress is against the constitution. Meanwhile, RJD leader Tejashwi Yadav has also claimed that ED, CBI and IT department work as BJP cells.
लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी को अगर बुलाना ही था तो 11 बजे के पहले बुला लेते या 5 बजे के बाद बुला लेते। जिस दिन नेशनल हेराल्ड पे इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसी गई, रात के 9:30 बजे तक खड़गे जी मौजूद थे। फिर आज पार्लियामेंट के में चर्चा हो रही है, क्वेश्चन आवर चल रहा है, उसके पहले 0 आवर था जिसके अंदर काफी महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दे उठाना था। तब इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट उनको बयान देने के लिए बुलवा रहा है।
Most unfortunate things, really horrible episode is happening in this country nowadays. There are certain parliamentary systems and conventions in this country. During the session, actually today, NOP given a notice of adjournment motion. He is ready there to participate in that session. Then he getting a information that he has been summoned by the enforcement director at 12:30. What is wrong with this agency? They can call him 8 o'clock. They can call him after the session. But whenever session is, I think it is the case of parliamentary procedure and conventions.
शुरुआत से ही कहते रहे कि ईडी हो, सीबीआई हो या इनकम टैक्स हो, एक तरह से बीजेपी का पार्टी का प्रकोष्ठ के रूप में काम करती है। और ये संवैधानिक संस्थाएं हैं, जांच एजेंसियां हैं, जो देश की सबसे बड़ी। दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है कि आज जितनी भी जांच एजेंसियां हैं, एक बीजेपी का पार्टी का प्रकोष्ठ जैसे होता है वैसे बन के रह गई। मतलब बीजेपी के हाथ में खिलौना
कि जिस तरह से अमर्यादित आचरण कांग्रेस पार्टी द्वारा, राहुल गांधी द्वारा और उनके जो वरिष्ठ नेता हैं उनके द्वारा किया जा रहा है, यह कतई उचित नहीं है। पहले आप चोरी करेंगे, देश को लूटेंगे और उसके बाद पूरे देश में अराजकता फैलाने का प्रयास करेंगे। पहले चोरी फिर सीना चोरी।
Samya is joining us for more details here. Samya, this entire issue has been refusing to die down really over the last few days and more reactions and face-offs continuing. What can you tell us?
Well, as far as the Congress party is concerned, they stick to their stand that it is a case of purely vendetta politics being unleashed against the Congress party leaders because they are trying to hold the government accountable as far as the rising prices, unemployment, and the GST being levied on food items are concerned. The Congress party maintains that the fact that they are raising people's issue and asking some very uncomfortable questions to the government is the reason why the National Herald case is being brought up again and again, and the ED is being misused as per the Congress party against the opposition leaders to try and instill fear and muzzle their voices that they're going to back out from trying to attack the government on these very specific issues. But we saw Rahul Gandhi making that statement today saying that he is not scared of the Prime Minister, he's not scared of any agencies. They're going to go ahead and do what it requires for the opposition leaders to carry out in the democratic setup as far as raising the voice of the people and ask these uncomfortable questions to the government of the day as far as price rise, unemployment, and GST being levied on food items are concerned. Now, Sonia Gandhi was, of course, issued ED summons and she cooperated with the investigation and she was interrogated for over 3 days. And after which we saw the Herald House being sealed. And now Mallikarjun Kharge has also been called over there. He is presently sitting over there as the ED is now interrogating him. The questioning is still on. And while the Congress party plans to carry out a massive protest tomorrow, they are very, very careful to not make it an issue of the misuse of ED. They are trying to make it all about price rise, unemployment, and GST. But the underlying angst amongst the Congress workers, party leaders are all about the fact that how ED is time and again being used against the opposition parties, and they maintain that whether it's the ED, the CBI, or the Income Tax Department, they end up being the long arms of the government, that the government is using them, and it's no longer autonomous or an independent body for that matter. So this standoff between the government and the opposition parties has been going on for a while, and the entire monsoon session has seen an absolute washout with hardly any business of the House being carried out as far as passage of the bills are concerned. So this is going to go on for a while, although the Congress party maintains they have nothing to hide, that these are only fabricated charges of sorts. There was no change of money or a transaction. However, the ED has been harping on the fact that as the financial transactions between the Young India, the AGL are concerned, the National Herald are concerned, all that is being factored in, and that's the reason why they are trying to find out more about it, and they are collecting documents and questioning more people. They feel there is merit in this entire case. However, the Congress party feel they have nothing to hide. They are clean in their accounts and their books, and that is the reason why they are not shying out from like going ahead and cooperating with the ongoing investigation, presenting themselves before the ED for interrogation, and they're going to do that in future as well. But this is not going to be used as a tool to silence or muzzle the voice of the opposition party leaders. So the standoff is going to continue so long this entire case is going to continue, because the ED is not going to let this die out just yet. It seems like the fact that they're still sitting and interrogating Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress party was very offended that he had served a notice in the Rajya Sabha, and he was all set to place his statement on record in the Rajya Sabha, and that's when he was called by the ED for the questioning. They were upset about the fact that why could this not happen earlier in the day or later once the House was adjourned. They feel this is deliberately being done to silence the most vocal critic of the Congress party against the government, leader of the opposition, the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge. And that is the reason why the Congress party leaders held several press conferences and spoke to the media saying this is unprecedented in a democratic setup where the leader of the opposition party is stopped from making the statement and being put it on record by being called through the ED summons. So the entire political, conflict between the opposition and the government surrounding ED doesn't seem to die out just yet. While the government definitely maintains that the ED is only carrying out its due diligence, it's not a case of vendetta politics. If they have found merit, they're going to go ahead and pursue the cases. We saw it happening in the case of Partha Chatterjee. We saw it happening in the case of even Sanjay Raut, and thus the Congress leaders are not going to be an exception out of.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for getting us all of those details. Well, Congress BJP face off in Parliament over ED action in the National Herald case. Leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, asked why he is being summoned by ED when Parliament is in session. Leader of the House, in fact, Piyush Goyal, then retorted, saying that the government does not interfere in the functioning of the ED.
ये सदन चल रहा है और पार्लियामेंट में एक सदस्य हूं और लीडर ऑफ द अपोजिशन पार्टी हूं, लेकिन मुझे इस वक्त पार्लियामेंट जब चल रहा है तो ईडी का समन आता है, आप जल्दी आइए। अब दूसरी चीज,
प्रियंका जी डोंट डिस्टर्ब, प्रियंका जी डोंट डिस्टर्ब प्लीज।
और मुझे 12:30 को मुझे जाना है, क्योंकि मैं वो कानून के तहत मैं अवॉइड करना नहीं चाहता हूं, मैं कानून का पालन करना चाहता हूं, लेकिन इस वक्त ईडी बुलाना, मुझे समन करना जब पार्लियामेंट सदन है, चल रहा है, क्या ये उचित है? एक और दूसरी चीज, पार्लियामेंट चलते वक्त भी कांग्रेस पार्टी के अध्यक्ष के घर को और राहुल जी के घर को नियरली
आप बैठिए
लोग जो दिल्ली पुलिस के लोग घेराव डाले हैं और घर को, और इस जगह इस तरीके से अगर हम चलेंगे, क्या डेमोक्रेसी हमारी जीवित रहेगी?
सरकार कभी भी जो लॉ एनफोर्समेंट अथॉरिटीज है उसके काम में दखल अंदाज नहीं देती है। शायद इनके जमाने में जब इनकी सरकार चलती थी तो ये लोग इंटरफेयर करते होंगे।
Now, earlier Congress leader Rahul Gandhi hit out at PM Modi, saying he will not be intimidated or scared. The strong reaction came after the Enforcement Directorate sealed Young Indians' office in Delhi in connection to the National Herald case. Rahul Gandhi said that the Congress will stand up against PM Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah no matter what. Remember, Congress had said that they were under siege after the ED action and police deployment around the Gandhi's residence yesterday.
आप नेशनल हेल्थ की बात कर रहे हैं जी सर। देखिए, ये पूरा इंटिमिडेशन का अटेम्प्ट है। ये सोचते हैं कि थोड़ा सा मतलब प्रेशर डाल के हमें चुप कर देंगे, हम चुप नहीं होने वाले जी। जो इस देश में नरेंद्र मोदी जी, अमित शाह जी कर रहे हैं लोकतंत्र के खिलाफ, उसके खिलाफ हम खड़े रहेंगे, चाहे ये कुछ भी कर दें, सर, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
रण छोड़ने भी नहीं देंगे और भागने भी नहीं देंगे।
मतलब
संबित पात्रा कह रहे हैं
कि भागने नहीं देंगे और रण की बात कर रही है, लड़ाई की बात कर रही है कांग्रेस पार्टी।
भागने की कौन बात कर रहा है? भागने की वो बात कर रहे हैं। देखिए, सुनिए बात, हम इंटिमिडेट नहीं होंगे, हम नरेंद्र मोदी से नहीं डरते हैं। समझ गए बात? कर लें जो करना है, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा। जो हमारा काम है, राहुल जी जी बोलने दीजिए जी, ठीक है। जो मेरा काम है, देश की रक्षा करना, लोकतंत्र की रक्षा करना, देश में जो हार्मनी है उसको मेंटेन करना, वो मैं करता रहूंगा। ये कुछ भी कर लें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
Now, after a special court in Mumbai extended the ED custody of Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut in the Patra Chawl scam case till the 8th of August, ED heat is on his wife Varsha Raut now. ED has summoned Varsha Raut tomorrow in connection to monetary transactions in her account from Praveen Raut and few other unknown accounts. Now, remember, the central agency had arrested Raut on Sunday night in connection with alleged financial irregularities in the redevelopment of the Patra Chawl in suburban Goregaon and related financial property transactions involving his wife and alleged associates. Meanwhile, Mirna has accessed Sanjay Raut's remand copy, which states that Sena MP's wife received a sum of 1.08 crore, and during the interrogation, Sanjay Raut gave evasive answers. Shweta is joining us for more details here. Shweta, what can you tell us in terms of what sources are telling you, as well as what the remand copy says?
Oh, well, that's correct, Avni. Varsha Raut has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate for tomorrow, and remember, her name has emerged out after several times. Enforcement Directorate officials have been claiming that the money parked is in her account and few other people's account as well. Now, Varsha Raut, allegedly by the Enforcement Directorate officials, have said that she has somewhere around 80 lakhs of rupees which has been parked in her account, and to this Raut Council stated that if this would have been done, Raut should have parked the money in someone else's account. Why to his wife's account? But coming with a fresh terms of money trail, ED in today's hearing stated that there was a first trail which established the money financial entire transaction about more than 1 crore 6 lakhs rupees. But now in a fresh after interrogation, as the investigation is underway, there's another amount which is summing up to 1 crore and 17 lakhs, which has been again going through Varsha Raut's account, and this is the reason why she has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate officials, and she has to appear before the ED office tomorrow. Along with Varsha Raut, there are certain names which will be emerging out soon. To name a few, Madhuri Raut, she is a wife of Praveen Raut, and the money trail somewhere shows that the money which was transferred to Varsha Raut's account was through Madhuri Raut. And there's another name which can play a very prominent role in this entire syndicate. What we are talking about, the alleged money laundering case of Patrachal scam, is Swapna Patkar. So here from Rakesh Wadhwan, the links are getting connected to Praveen Raut. The man is already behind the bars. Then his wife Madhuri Raut. Then it's also close confidant of Mr. Sanjay Raut. He's Sujit Patkar, and Sujit Patkar's wife as well. That's Swapna Patkar. So very important names, and it will be important to see how Enforcement Directorate officials summon rest of the people. But yes, for tomorrow, Sanjay Raut's wife Varsha Raut has to face the grilling of ED officials. She has to go through all the tough questions what Sanjay Raut must have not been answered yet about the money trail and about the how exactly the land was purchased in the Alibag, those 8 prime locations in Kihim Beach, and how did the money come in cash for the purchase of land there.
All right, Shweta, thank you so much for getting us all of those details. Uddhav versus Shinde Sena battle was taken up in the Supreme Court today, and some relief for Uddhav camp. Supreme Court has restrained the Election Commission of India from deciding on a plea by CM Eknath Shinde to recognize his group as the real Shiv Sena. However, the matter has now been deferred for hearing on Monday, wherein the top court will decide on the need for a larger bench. Sources tell us that CM Shinde will hold a meet with his legal team about today's hearing and further course of action. Those are the details here coming in at this point in time. This is the battle for the real Shiv Sena, which is currently going on at this point in time. And now, of course, Uddhav Sena versus Shinde Sena battle that has been on. It's in top court now, and the matter will once again be taken up on Monday. Temporary relief of sorts, if you can call it that, coming in from Uddhav camp because the Election Commission has been restricted from recognizing the Shinde faction as the real Shiv Sena. So those are the details here coming in at this point in time. It will be very important to see what the top court says on this entire issue. How will this issue be resolved? Because remember, the upcoming civic body polls also are going to be held soon. And obviously, this matter has to be resolved before then as well. So those are the details here at this point in time. Welcome back. Now, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has arrived in the national capital today for a packed 4-day visit in which a slew of meetings are planned. As soon as Mamata landed, she held a meeting with all her party MPs. According to reports, she is likely to visit the Central Hall of Parliament, and that she may also meet Congress President Sonia Gandhi, who was recently grilled by the ED in the National Herald money laundering case. TMC chief is expected to attend the Niti Aayog meeting on Sunday, which is to be chaired by the Prime Minister. Mamta is also expected to meet the newly elected President Draupadi Murmu during her visit as well. Adrija joining us for more details here. Adrija, clearly it's going to be a packed few days as far as Mamta Banerjee is concerned.
Well, exactly. So a lot of important meetings are to be held in the next 4 days where she will be visiting the national capital. As we saw that today itself, she has visited her MPs over a tea, and tomorrow she is most likely to meet the Narendra Modi in person before the Niti Aayog Niti Aayog meeting, which she will be attending this year and which she has, passed a lot of times in the past years. She will also be present during the vice president elections. Although her party has decided to abstain from voting, but still her presence in the national capital does make a important significance. Also, we see that all of this is happening in the backdrop of the arrest of former TNC Minister Partho Chatterjee, who is right now in the ED custody and is being questioned for the SSC scam. However, she's also set to meet opposition leaders, especially Sonia Gandhi, who is also facing the ED heat. And the oppositions are, constantly saying that the central agencies are being used by the BJP to.
All right, I think we seem to have lost that line with Adrija, but she was essentially outlining what the plan for Mamta Banerjee is during that 4-day action-packed visit to the national capital. And we're getting you breaking news of a bank robbery that was caught on camera, and those visuals on your screens. This was a bank that was robbed in broad daylight. 3 miscreants robbed a bank in Alwar. They looted from the bank. About 3 lakh rupees was looted. In fact, you can see those the robbers there who are pointing guns at the employees, and they've taken more than 3 lakh rupees and gotten away. In fact, the search for them is underway. So those are the details here coming in. Broad daylight, this bank robbery happening in Alwar. And news coming in from the Commonwealth Games. Another medal assured. Boxer Jasmine Lamboria assures a 5th medal, in fact, in boxing. And that is in the 60 kg quarterfinals. She's cruised through to the 60 kg quarterfinals 4-1 against New Zealand's Garton Troy. At a time when India is witnessing a surge in COVID cases, rising number of monkeypox cases, especially among those without any travel history, is a matter of concern. Nala Sopara spoke to the National Institute of Virology Director, Dr. Priya Abraham, over the 2 subjects to find out how India is gearing up to tackle both the concerns.
People have a lot of questions, ma'am, so we are here to know from you. First of all, there's a confusion between has COVID gone away totally or it's at what stage. So at this point of time, what precautions should be taken and what is its future? And there are a lot of questions about the red flags pattern in it. So please tell us about it.
So COVID has not really gone away. We will constantly be seeing new sublineages or variants emerging. Even as I speak now, we should be both wearing a mask, and keeping that physical distance because it can still infect an individual, but in those who are vaccinated, serious disease is prevented. So I think especially now, from now on, we are going to get into a festival season. We should be careful to, not hang around in places which are overcrowded, poorly ventilated, without masks.
And on that note, it's time to wrap up this edition. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to Mirror Now. Urban Debate comes up next.